Welcome. I just want to welcome everyone to this Wellness or Wednesday Wellness Day. Just admit somebody else in. For those of you who may or may not know Ronald and Patrina, they are experts in their chosen field, and they're dedicated to help people every day live life to the full and live and have a life that has optimum health. So you're going to hear from both Ronald and Patrina how to take those daily steps and enjoy your life in a healthy way. So welcome one and all. Now, my name is Hepzibah, by the way. Sorry, because you probably don't see my name. My name is Hepzibah, and I met Ronald and Patrina, as Patrina was saying, about 10 years ago, where they had a small seminar talking about health tips. And one of the things that resonated with me was my mother had the issues that they were talking about. And I was just writing, taking down notes. And then at the end of that meeting, I decided that I was going to have my one-to-one with them and talk about my health. And they've been my friends since. And I always tap in and ask them, what do I do? How do I do this? If things are going wrong with, any health problems, what do you think? What do you suggest? They give all of themselves. They pour out all their knowledge into each and every one of you. Should you, decide to talk more, Q&As there, just talk, ask questions, and they're here to support and help you enjoy good health. Over to you, Ronald and Patrina.
Okay, welcome everyone. What I'll do is I'll start with some slides, then we can share what we're about and what we're going to be talking about. So just hold on a minute. So today we're going to be talking about how by healing your gut, you can actually heal your body, right? And this is the link in case you need to invite some other people who are coming in late. Do please contact them as well and share the link. It's also going to be on Facebook Live, hopefully. Everything going well?
If I can just add something, over the 40 years, 50 years I've been doing this, what has never ceased to amaze me is the correlation between your brain and your gut. When you say your gut, it's based where your belly button is. Now that's where your intestines, your large intestine and small, there's about 6 trillion bacteria, 6 trillion bacteria in the gut, right? And now if they're healthy, that part of your body is like your second brain, okay, the second brain. And that's where the immune system exists, right? Now, so that's why you feel unwell if you get what they call antibiotics, which means anti-life. You're taking over your own immune system, and you let the team down, because you've got to let your own immune system fight its disease, its problems. And so we're going to explain to you about how important it is to eat with probiotics, which means pro-life, right? And so I'm so convinced of that. I'll be 75 in the next 4 months, and for the last 30 years I've never had flu, never had cold, right? It's been amazing, right? So and I know that's because the way we eat, that's what's given the power of being healthy for a long time. And I'm also very blessed because my family is long livers, like 98, 99, 100, 102. So that plays a part as well. But it's not just genetics. It's what you eat, how you think, the music you listen to, the people you associate with, all of that as a big factor. So we're going to give you a lot of information about how you make when you heal your gut, you heal your brain, you heal your body.
Okay. So who is this webinar for? Really open-minded people like yourselves. Obviously, you've come here, so you are keen to learn, and you need to be willing to listen and to try new things. Those who are seeking natural solutions to their health concerns, because we teach you how to actually reverse or prevent any illnesses the natural way. And those are willing to put in some effort to get healthier, because obviously nothing, you can't actually achieve anything without any effort. So you need to have put in some effort. Sometimes it may be uncomfortable, but you need to put up with it as well. And also those who are willing to take responsibility for their own health. All right. Now, who is this webinar not for? Close-minded people. I'm sure none of you are here. So those with a know-it-all attitude and not willing to try new things. Those want quick solutions and who want to carry on with the same lifestyle. If you want to improve your health or things to change, you have to change certain things as well. So keep that in mind. And those who are happy to continue relying on chemical medications, because in the long run, that's not good for you. And sometimes we've met people who say, oh, I'm 30 years old, 40 years old. I should be getting this illness by now. So that's life. That is not someone we are able to help. So if you're of that mindset, please do change it so that you can benefit the most from what we're about to share. So who are we? Ronald, Petrina. We have been known as Europe's most trusted energy boosting solutions. And between us, we've got over 5 decades of helping others achieve the natural wellness solutions that you've been searching for. Now, our ideal customer, fortunately, I've seen a lot of ladies here. There are some men as well, I've seen, okay? We typically help women, basically business owners or, busy moms who are between 45 and 55 years old, struggling with low energy levels, having daily stress, and who want to improve their productivity in life so that they can feel fantastic every day. Does that sound like you? Well, if you don't fit into this category, obviously we say typically, we do help others as well, and we can help others as well if you're not in this category. So most of you would have heard this saying by Hippocrates, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. And this lady, she's also correctly said that the food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Okay.
Can I just try? In the village that we live in, call a village, I observed this Uber bicycle, motorcycle, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to astonish you. So there's this family. I'm not going to name names or nationality, but there's this family. They've got the husband and wife and 2 kids, 2 daughters. And so when I was out in the garden, on the side garden, building the garden, on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, guess what I saw? Every one of those nights, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, every one of those nights, the Uber vehicle would arrive by motorcycle or whatever, and they would be dislodging out of their bag 4 family-sized pizzas. 4 family-size, every one of those nights. So at the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the family was eating 16 large-sized pizzas at a cost of £23 each. Right now, that is what you call the slowest form of poison, right? Without a doubt, right? And so whilst you're earning income, I worked out that is working out at about £15,000 a year spent on pizzas. Now that's insane, absolutely insane. You could take half of that money, buy yourself some really good organic food, and you'd be so much healthier, right? So this is what we see in our own face in our own backyard. And she's so correct, but what Ann Whitmore said, when you eat that way, pizzas on 4 nights a week, and we're not talking about one slice, we're talking every member of that family is eating a pizza size, family size. Makes sense, doesn't it? What I'm saying, right? And you're talking 15,000 or so per year is spent on poison. That's what it's about, right? So anyway, let's move on.
Okay. So keep an open mind like a parachute, because if it's not open, then, this is not going to work for you. Just bear it in mind. Now, most of us, when we were taught we don't really know where our stomach is. So our stomach is actually on this side, like the diagram on the left-hand side. And can anyone guess how big our stomach is? What's the size of our stomach? Yes, it's the size. Yeah, you remember? Remember?
Two
Yeah.
fists.
It's actually the size of two fists.
Two fists.
All right,
It's like that.
like in the photo.
Two fists. It's two fists. Right. So if you form your fist like that too, that's the size of your stomach.
Okay. Right. So now, what we've observed over the years of meeting a lot of people is that when we make recommendations, a number of people have said they've got issues. For example, if we say you must drink at least 2 or 3 liters of liquids daily, they'll say, oh, that's too much. However, you give them a can of soda, a beer, a wine, they can drink liters and liters of it without question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of it's in the mindset. Likewise, when we say you have to swallow a few supplements in tablet form, that will be beneficial for you. A lot of people, they'll say, oh, I can't swallow tablets because, you know, it's too huge. Whereas what we've observed is, have you ever eaten some, say, like chicken nuggets? And, you know, it tastes obviously quite palatable. So you're just chewing it and just, you know, swallowing it down. And we can say that the size of the chicken nugget that you've swallowed down is going to be much larger than the supplement that we're asking you to take. Can you see the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're going to say is digestion really starts in your mouth. The reason why we've been given teeth and saliva is because that's where the digestion starts. So you've got teeth for that reason, and also the saliva glands, right? Okay. So what are the steps to a healthy digestive system? First of all is chewing. You need to chew and process your food properly from the mouth before you swallow it. If you decide to just gulp it down, then it's not going to work, because the stomach and all the other digestive organs, they're going to say, hey, I'm not supposed to chew the food. What am I doing with these huge chunks of food? And that is why we get all these problems. So if you tend to swallow your food without chewing sufficiently, this can stress the stomach. And like I said, it'll lead to indigestion, bloating, and even discomfort. Have you ever eaten in a hurry and then later on, in a few minutes, you actually feel unwell? That's the reason why. Okay. So how many times should you be chewing a spoonful of food before swallowing? Is it like less than 5 times? I think most of us have been guilty of that. Okay, no, it's not. Is it less, between 6 to 20 times? That's a bit better. However, even that is not really correct. What we recommend is you should chew your food at least over 20 times until it becomes like a paste, then you swallow it, right?
Can I just say something here? The more you chew your food, like 20 times or more, you know, and you've got to, if you say chicken or fish or a salad, whatever, so the more you chew that food until it becomes like a paste, like a soft paste, like toothpaste in your mouth, at that point, that's when you send it to your stomach. And when you do that, your stomach is very happy because it takes that mixture. It's called a bolus. It takes that mixture and it takes care of it very fast. Within a couple of hours, it's already pre-digesting and it's sending it across your duodenum and your intestine, and your food is digesting. Right? Otherwise, if you eat less or you eat your food in a hurry, what you're going to do is you're going to find that you're going to bloat, you're going to have a lot of wind, and you're not going to be able to sleep well because your food is still in your stomach. You need your food to be past your stomach and digesting about 2 hours before you go to bed. Make sense?
Okay. So what is next? So remember, when you're a baby or if you have children, you need to chew every mouthful of food until it becomes like a paste before you swallow, just like baby food, right? And also, you know, relaxing while you're eating. So try not to eat while you're in the middle of working as well, because that causes stress. And if you don't concentrate on what you're eating, then, you know, it can cause all these sorts of problems as well. So it says that most of us, myself included, when I was growing up, I remember, I'm sure those of you who have children, you may have said this to your children as well, eat everything on the plate, right? You have to finish it. Otherwise, the people in Africa or India or some third world country, they're going to starve, right? But that's nothing to do with us in that sense. So in the ideal world, you would really eat until you're about 80% full. However, in the UK, the Western world, or all the first world countries especially, most of us eat like 120% of the amount that we should. And that's really wrong. Okay. So sitting down and properly eating, like this family is doing, that is really the ideal thing. So I believe during the lockdown, hopefully things have been a bit less rushed and stressful. I know some people, it's the other way around because they've got family to manage. However, meal times really, it shouldn't be a time to be catching up on social media. So obviously put your phone down, switch off the TV if you have to, and just concentrate on eating and just enjoying the time that you're able to eat.
I remember when we were in Malaysia one time, we went to this, what I call a Nyonya restaurant. The food is absolutely delicious, right? And so we're sitting there, as about 6 to 8 people as a family. All our phones are turned off. And this couple and the 2 kids came, about in their 15, 16 years old. And from the moment they sat down, the dad, the mum, the 2 kids took out their phones and they were texting the whole meal. And I was like, wow, what a waste of time, what a waste of money, right? And the food, you can't enjoy food if you're texting all the time. I mean, they weren't talking to each other at all. There was no conversation. And that was about an hour and a half and they were chewing food in between. And obviously they were chewing fast to take it back to the text. And this is going to get worse because that's where their phones are going. You look at people now, they go across the crossing, the zebra crossing with their phone on their ear, or they're doing texting. I mean, a car can hit you. You don't even know the car's coming at you, right? Put that, once you finish using your phone, put it away. All right, put it away. Don't use your phone while you're eating. All right, not a good idea, because their digestion will not take place properly. You've got to be relaxed. You've got to eat properly, and you've got plenty of time to look at your phone at any time afterwards. Make sense? Yeah.
Okay, so downsize your plates as well, because we tend to overeat. So most of us been raised, like I said, to eat everything on our plates. So if it's a big plate, naturally we will want more food. And make sure you eat volume and not calories. So what we'll share later on is how you can actually balance your meal plate. Okay, so for example, if your plate is full of starchy carbohydrates like potatoes, rice, and pasta, and fatty foods, we will probably eat more of that. You need to balance it more with vegetables and fruits as well. Okay, now this is going to be interesting for most of you. Say we have 365 days in a year, and we eat 1,000 meals in a year, 3 meals a day, roughly, right? 3 meals times 365, roughly about 1,000 if you eat 2 or 3 meals a day. So whatever age you are, that will be how many meals you've eaten to date. So it's basically, if you're 20, then you would have eaten 20,000 meals, 30,000 meals, and so on. Okay. So that's the diagram of the digestive system. Like I said, it starts from the mouth right down to the anus where the food comes out. And in an adult, this is between 30 to 35 feet in length. Okay. Now, the good question is, how many bowel movements should you have in a day? Are you having one? Are you having one a day? We've met people who haven't been having any bowel movement for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're not joking. And sometimes the size of your body is very deceiving, because most of the time these people are really slim, but they've not had any bowel movements. So this is how we're going to explain this to you. Imagine last Saturday, for breakfast, you had a bowl of cereal, lunch, a sandwich or baguette, and dinner you had probably some rice, okay? And then Sunday morning, that's the best picture I could get of someone sitting on a stool, okay? So imagine that's you, the frog-like character, and you go to toilet. So basically, if it's first in, first out, that means the cereal comes out, right, in the morning. And then you think that's fine. Then on Sunday morning, maybe you have a bowl of porridge, Sunday lunch, chicken, and dinner time, say, okay, you said you want to be a bit healthier, so you have a salad, right? Okay. And Monday, that's day 3, you go to toilet again. What comes out? The meal from the Saturday's lunch, which is the sandwich, the baguette, right? And then you carry on eating. Monday morning, you're in a rush, maybe you've got to go to work, you've had a couple of cereal bars, and then you have a fish and chips, for example, for lunch, and say some noodles for dinner. Then when you come to Tuesday morning, go to toilet again. What comes out? The rice from Saturday night. So by the start of day 4, you would have these meals in the body, six meals at least. That's the porridge, the chicken, the salad, the cereal bars, the fish and chips, and the noodles. So you carry on. That's for people who are going to the toilet once a day. How about if you're not going to the toilet at all for like 2 or 3 days? You do the maths and you see what's inside your body. And do you know why we're all sick? Because the food is rotting in our system. Okay. So now this is a very interesting book. Do look it up if you haven't read it or heard of it. It says what your doctor doesn't know about nutritional medicine may be killing you. And this was actually written by a doctor. Okay. I've typed in the gist of it. You can take a screenshot if you want to. So it says physicians are disease oriented. They study disease and they look for disease. The physicians are pharmaceutically trained to treat disease. In order to do so, they know the drugs. In medical school, this is coming from a doctor, he admits, they study pharmacology and learn how the body absorbs each drug and when and how the body excretes it. They will know which drugs to disrupt certain chemical pathways to create a therapeutic effect. They learn the side effects profile of drugs, and they work carefully to balance the benefits against any potential danger. Physicians know their drugs and do not hesitate to prescribe them. Can you see now why most of the times when you go to the doctor, they prescribe drugs? So a bit more about this book.
Can I just go back a bit?
Yeah.
I actually met this guy,
Ray Strand.
Dr. Ray. I've met him in Perth, in Western Australia, and he was a doctor with 20 years plus of experience, right? And what he told that night was mind blowing. His wife was a horse trainer in America, a horse trainer, and she became very sick with a particular disease. And he tried it, and it was a combination of fibromyalgia, pneumonia, asthma, and other allergies. And what actually happened, he tried to give her medical compliments, and what actually happened, she got worse. She was so bad, she used to be in bed for 22 hours of each day. He used to roster his kids to send, just to keep his kids away from school so they could take care of their mum, right? And a neighbor told him about nutrition, and the neighbor was not a medical doctor. And the moment that she took those particular vitamins, within days she was back on her feet, and she never ever got sick again. And fibromyalgia, pneumonia, asthma, and other are serious, right? So, and this guy, when the doctor Ray Strand was asked by his wife, should I take the advice of the lady next door? He said, we as doctors have failed you. So what have you got to lose? So, and within about 1 to 2 weeks, she had fully recovered. She was back on the horses, back being a very efficient wife again. And he was so amazed by that, he actually basically moved away from medical medicine, and he started teaching his patient nutritional medicine. And he wrote this book. And that was very unusual for a doctor to write such a powerful book. And I met him, and I know exactly what he was about.
So there you go. You know, it's a true story, and the book is real as well.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the effective way of having bowel movements every day? You need at least 38 grams of soluble and insoluble fiber. Now, if you're wondering how to get the fiber, this is an example. If you ate 5 oranges, 5 apples, and 6 bananas, that will only be equivalent to about 24 grams of fiber. So in order to get 38 grams, you need at least 25 fruits and vegetables, and it shouldn't be consumed via juicing. So raise your hands if anyone has eaten that many vegetables or fruits in a day. I don't think anyone has, right? So if you're constipated, we have a solution which we'll recommend. There is a product called Fiber-G. All you have to do is take 1 tablespoon, which is equivalent to 12 grams. So if you're really constipated and you're not eating any fruits and vegetables, then we would recommend you take at least 2 to 3 tablespoons. And you also take it in conjunction with this product called Magnical D, which consists of magnesium, calcium, and vitamin D.
Yeah.
The reason why we recommend these products from this company is because it is the only company we know that has the potency guaranteed label on its bottles and packaging. No other nutritional company has actually had the courage to actually put that label, because they know that their products are not potency guaranteed.
What you're seeing on the bottom of the screen, potency guaranteed. Out of 1,800 companies I've checked, that's the only company that's got the guts to put that on there. That's how potent they are. Also very important. Now, you notice we say very clearly 12 grams of soluble and insoluble fiber, right? For example, when you're eating a mango, an apple, grapes, right, kiwi fruit, that is a soluble fiber, okay? It is soluble. Insoluble fiber is wheat bran, right, is oats and cereals and barley. This insoluble. So it's got to be balanced properly. It can't be too much soluble, too much insoluble. It's got to be balanced exactly. So you've got the amount of soluble in every 12 grams you take. So when you take 1 tablespoon of that, you are achieving 1/3 of your target of 38 grams per day. Okay. So what we do, we either do it that way, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, and then we add things like bananas, apples, pears, plums, cavallonero, beans to create the other part of the fiber solution. Okay.
Okay. So if you wanted to know where we got this Platinum Plus rating, there is a book called The Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements. Again, you can Google it. You can get it from Amazon, for example. And that is where they've actually done all the studies on that. Now, if you do want to get any of these supplements, I've shared my link there. You can actually order it at the cost price as well, so you can benefit from it. Just feel free to take a screenshot or contact me later. I'll send you the link there. Okay. Right. So now, why do we need the magnesium and calcium to be taken with the fiber? It's because that's the diagram of our colon and
large intestine.
Or large intestines. Now, with the colon, the ascending colon and the transverse colon, if you imagine gravity, the waste can't actually move up, or it's very difficult for the waste to actually move up on its own, upwards. So we need this process, what we call peristalsis, where they actually squeezes the tubes of the
muscle tissue,
the muscle tissue of the colon to move the waste up, and that's what the magnesium and calcium does as well.
It's just to you very clear here. The gravity plays a big part on the earth, right? So, and when I did 40 years of study on this part of the body, I realized why it was so good to get the amount of fiber, because you see, when the waste enters to the ileocacal valve, there's a valve there which releases the waste from your small intestines into the appendix area, and then it's meant to then climb up the ascending column, ascending, you see. In other words, you're going against gravity. So that's where you need so much fiber, because you need that gravity to be fought against so that it pushes the waste up the ascending column, allows it to transverse the column across and then go down, right? We have seen many, many people with clogged up cecum, clogged up appendix, clogged up ascending column, and then what happens, it keeps blocking up, and as a result, you become very toxic. You've got to flush you've got to flush that colon every 24 hours, completely empty. That's how you do it. Otherwise, if you, like I was saying earlier, if you're eating other foods and you're eating all the time and you're not evacuating, you're going to have about as much as 2/3 of that colon clogged up with as many as 10, 12, 15 meals. You want every meal for the previous day to be gone, right? That's why this is so important to get the fiber right and the magnesium.
Okay. So what are the benefits of calcium that's listed there? And in order for the calcium to be absorbed, the body needs sufficient vitamin D as well. Okay, and that's the benefits of magnesium. Again, you can take a screenshot.
Yeah. Just what we're talking about, if you look at the organs, every one of those organs is vital. We're talking about adrenals, bones, brain, eyes, right? Now, one of the problems you've got in England, and I'm from Australia, I can really come from a position of authority on sun. When you go to Queensland, which is on the east coast of Australia, your average temperature in winter is 16. In winter. In summer, it can go from 30 degrees to 40 degrees. So most Queenslanders have got plenty of vitamin D, plenty, because they love the sun, they go out surfing and so on. Now, in England, I suppose be 2 or 3 months of the year where you get temperatures above 16. The rest of the time is always below that. So there's a tremendous amount of people who are lacking vitamin D here. And I can tell you, when you lack vitamin D, you get depressed, you get anxious, you don't sleep properly, your immune system collapses, right? This is why it's so important to get as much sun as you can. Now, the good news is, if you can't get as much sun as you can take an adequate amount of vitamin D on a daily basis, especially in winter, and that will keep your immune system afloat in a very good way, right? And there's a doctor called Dr. Joseph Mikosi. I followed him as well, and he is very clever. He's not just a medical doctor. He's a scientific thinking man, and he was testing a lot of his patients in America who were suffering from flu on a continuous basis. And guess what he did? He put them on 20,000 units of vitamin D. 20,000 units of vitamin D. That's equivalent to about 90 minutes of sunshine per day, right? At 45 minutes plus, at say 28 degrees. He put them on 20,000 units of vitamin D. And guess what? It got rid of the flu within 2 days. 2 days. So flu normally will go 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and it kept come back. As soon as you give him that, it was giving him in divided doses, like 7,000, 7,000, 6,000. So at the end of each day, they had been given 20. After 2 days of that dose, the flu was gone, right? Gone. So if you look at TV at night time, for example, what do you see when somebody's clogged up with flu? It'll be chemicals. It'll always be chemicals, Beckinase, sprays, flu remedies, and they just make you worse. Their immune system collapses even more. You want your immune system to be really high with vitamin D, right? I can't express that strongly enough, okay?
Okay. So just repeat again, you need to have fiber G and the MagniCal as well. Okay. So what we recommend is, after you've taken the 3 tablespoons of fiber G for around 2 weeks every day, then we also recommend this product called the probiotics, which Ronald was mentioning just now.
Yeah.
For at least 3 weeks, then you can reduce to 2 sachets a day for 3 weeks, and then reduce to 1 sachet. And do you want to explain that?
Yeah. Well, we've got a neighbor. There's a professional gardener just up the road from us, and I actually met him about 3 o'clock one afternoon, and he looked sick. He was mowing. He was working on a hedge. He looked sick. I mean, he was pale. And as I was talking, he said, "Excuse me for a minute," and he rushed inside his house. And about half an hour, he come back in. I said, "You're not well, are you?" He said, I ate some mortadella, which is like a sausage, and it had bacteria in it, the wrong bacteria. And he said, "I've been to the doctor. He's giving me something to take, and I'm worse. It's making me worse." He said, "I'm going to the toilet about every 30 minutes. He was drained." So he happened that I had a packet, a box of this probiotics, and I give him five sachets. Now, each sachet has got an amazing 12 billion guaranteed viable bacteria that goes into your gut, right? And I give him that, and I said, "Take 2 now. This is 3:30. Take 2 now. And then tonight, if you still got diarrhea, take 2 more. And then tomorrow morning, 10, finish the rest," okay? Well, the next morning at 10 o'clock, he knocked on my door, and he gave me back 2 of the probiotic sachets. And he said, "I can't believe it. You're a genius." He said, within 2 hours of taking the 2 probiotics, which is 24 billion, he said, my stomach just locked up. No more diarrhea. And he felt so much better within 24 hours. That's how powerful the right probiotic is in the gut. You know, amazing. And he's never forgotten that what I did for him. Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to balancing your meal, guess which one looks the best? Number 1, right up to number 9. Okay.
You want to go to it? Number 1, what do you see? Heaps of protein, heaps of meat, heaps of potato patties, heaps of starch, very little tomatoes, very little greens, right? Number 2, you're looking at food made with white flour, like dim sum, white flour, and lots of pork, right? You look at number 3, you're talking 2 slices, 1 slice of egg, some chips, and rice, white rice. The 4th one, some bok choy, some probably maybe potato, white rice. You look at number 5, white noodles, right? Overcooked eggs and very few salad, very bit of salad. You look at number 6, it's overdone with protein. Too many of these heart-shaped fried chicken, right? And very little lettuce and tomatoes. Number 7, you are eating chapati or naan, very little greens, a huge amount of starch and carbohydrate. And number 8, Trina, could you clarify that?
Number 8 is it's quite famous in Malaysia. It's noodles, but it's done with like black sauce, dark sauce, dark soy sauce.
Yeah.
And again, very little vegetables. You can see very little.
Huge amount of carbohydrate. Now, number 9, that is a perfectly balanced meal. You've got 2 patties, like vegetable patties, or you can make it 2 chicken patties or 2 turkey patties or fish patties. You look above that, you'll see this greenish food. That's called bitter gourd. That's the right amount. Then you've got carrots, organic carrots. Then you've got red cabbage, organic celery, and on the left you've got broccoli. You see, you've got broccoli, corolla or bitter gourd, carrots. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 meals that are made up of vegetables, most of it raw, right? And your main protein is 2 small patties of either fish, chicken, meat, whatever. Okay. Now that if you eat like this at every meal, you are laughing all the way. Now, if you eat one of the meals, for example, like number 1, that's going to take about 36 to 48 hours to digest. All right. Whereas the one at number 9, that will take about 12 hours. Can you see the difference in stress on your stomach?
Okay.
Right.
So what we normally say is 20% acidic food and 80% alkaline.
Yes.
So for example, that's a can of sardines.
Yes.
That's good for you. However, it's acidic. So you need to balance it with at least 4 different vegetables.
Yes.
Ideally of 4 different colors if you can. Okay. So if you're eating, say, like a portion of rice, a plate of rice, again, 4 different vegetables.
And that's brown rice.
Yes.
Or black rice.
Yeah. Even piece of fish or meat, again, 4 different vegetables, various types. And as much as you can add lots of herbs to it as well, like chives, coriander,
Yeah.
ginger, chili.
Now we grow coriander, we grow ginger, we got chives, we got chili. So every night when we have dinner, we have a balanced dinner, and then we put about 2 tablespoons of parsley, 1 tablespoon of ginger, tablespoon of chives, and a tablespoon of chilies on top of our food. So that is a great digestive aid.
Hi, sweetheart. You're not well today?
Sorry?
No, I think just
Okay. So if you're looking at carrots, broccoli, beetroot, cucumber with the skin on, you notice. And if you look at that, you are getting a huge amount of antioxidants there. And then when you add the herbs like coriander, ginger, garlic, chives, and chili, that is a fantastic array of aids for the digestive system. If you do this, you'll never get sick. Or if you do get sick, it'll be so mild, you get over it within 1 day. That's how much you should eat, that sort of level.
Okay. So also you need to keep hydrated.
Yes.
So what we recommend is if you get a bottle called Nalgene, you can search for it as well, and you can order it online if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you drink at least 2 to 3 liters. In the summertime, when it's hot, at least 3 liters. However, in the wintertime, you can reduce it to say 2.5 liters, and mix it with water, alkaline water, and unsweetened fruit juice. These are the examples there as well, and that will help you keep hydrated.
Yeah, and you notice what she said, 20% unsweetened fruit juice, not from concentrate. Because once somebody's been, and they put in a can, and then they add water to it when it comes here, you've lost a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, right? Now you'll notice the cloudy apple juice, not just the clear apple juice, cloudy, dark grape juice, full of anthocyanin, good for the eyes, and coconut water. Do you know that coconut water is the closest thing to human plasma, human blood plasma? Coconut water is brilliant. Every country that I've been in, like the Fijians, right, and the Samoans and the New Zealanders, they eat the coconut water and they are solid. They're solid, and they don't get sick. They drink coconut water every single day, fresh from their tree, right? We went to St. Lucia about 2 years ago. We had the privilege of being taken in the jungle and given fresh coconut water straight from the tree. It was unbelievable how well we felt. Within 1 week, we were drinking 1.5 liters each. 1 week, we were just bursting with health. So we make sure we drink at least 1 liter of coconut water every single day.
So just to remind you, if you think you have no time to eat healthily, then sooner or later you may have to find time to recover from your illness.
Yes.
Okay.
If I can just say something, about 4 years ago, I was looking at the headings of a newspaper, and I normally don't buy a paper because it's full of negatives, but I bought this one because you know why? Because it said on the headline, the 3rd richest man, right? 3rd richest man in the UK dies age 58 of a heart attack. 3rd richest man, worth £4.6 billion. He had properties in Chigwell, in Chelsea, Mayfair, London. And I said to myself, what's the point of having all that money when you die at 58, right? But you see, if he'd come to me and I'd change his thinking, he would still be alive at 80 and 90 enjoying the money. But you see, what's the point of having all that money and die at 58, right? Money's not everything. You use the money to eat well, you make more money. That's how it works, right? And of course you have to have money, but you don't have to have 4.6 billion to be happy. Make my point? Spend the money eating properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do encourage you to actually prepare your food at home if you can, rather than eating out, because of the pros and cons as listed here. You can take a quick screenshot if you want to. Okay. So more pros and cons of eating out. Basically what it is, when you eat out, the restaurants and the takeaways, I know some people I know here own restaurants takeaway. So no offense to you, I know it's a business. So just bear in mind that, you know, when you run a business, businesses are there to make profit, right? So most of them, they will cook in the fastest and the most economical way for them to make the profit. So
including the microwave.
yes, including microwave food and all that. And this is not going to be the best food for you. We're not totally against eating out or having the occasional takeaway, but you know, not on a regular basis.
Can I ask if you've on the bottom, if you, when you can type in, I can ask who owns a microwave in the audience? And I'd love to know if you say that.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm saying that is that you should never, ever have a microwave in your kitchen or anywhere for that matter. Microwaves is one of the worst inventions to cook food in. What happened if you look carefully at the word microwave? It's like radioactivity, right? So when you're cooking meat, fish, chicken, or in a microwave, you're actually creating so much heat. You're exploding the molecules of food, and you're turning protein into fat in digestible manner. And some people say, what about cooking my coffee? It doesn't matter whether it's coffee, tea, whatever you're warming up in a microwave, you are killing your food, right? Now, it could be a 3,000 pounds microwave, get rid of it. And don't sell it because it'll be on your conscience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is some facts that some of you may not know. Most people who are originally from like the Indian, the Africans, the Asians, the Chinese,
Yes.
they are lactose intolerant. So we don't recommend you drink cow's milk if you do, or take cow's dairy. And we do recommend you move on to something like goat's dairy instead, because the cow's dairy is acidic and the goat's one is alkaline.
Yes. Also very important. And I always laugh at that one. They'll say to me something like, they'll say, so it's okay, you don't want me to drink cow's milk. Can I eat cow's cheese? And I said, well, look, remember this, the cheese is worse because it takes 5 liters of milk to make 1 liter of cheese, right? Now, and we're not being racist. I've discovered that there's a gene that doesn't come across in the African race and the descendants, in the Asian race and that gene hasn't come true. That is the lactase enzyme. They don't have that, or it's very poor. That's why we recommend, if you come from that race, to eat goat's dairy, which is alkaline. Now, you can eat goat's dairy, you can eat goat's cheese, and you can also eat goat's butter. And let me tell you, it's delicious, right? So once you get, you know, there's about 1.6 billion goats worldwide, 1.6 billion. So there's a lot of smart people out there who have goats in their villages, and that's where they feed themselves off. They don't have cows. They have goats, and they have herds of them. And I've been to these places, really, and the goat's milk they drink is raw. It's not overcooked, over pasteurized. So if you're dairy susceptible to allergies, switch from dairy. I'm talking cow's dairy or milk or cheese, and switch to goat's milk. You can get goat's milk quite easily these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to warn you, the next slide isn't the most pleasant to look at. So just be warned, all right? This is what's happening to most of the cows around the world.
Yes.
They've been highly injected with hormones, growth hormones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a look at that.
This is what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
The genetically modified.
That's genetically modified cows. And those look how gross that is. Those cows, the healthy cows, is supposed to do 25 years of life and give you 10 liters of milk per day. They've designed those genetically modified cows, they've designed them to give 100 liters of milk per day. And they're so stressed they die within 5 years. And they cut the meat up and sell it to you. Amazing, isn't it? When you think about it that way. Have a look at that. That's real pictures we got along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end now. This is again some foods we would encourage you to avoid, and which are the healthier alternatives. You're welcome to take a photo of that as well. Okay. Ria's laughing because we've told her about white rice before. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
just go back one bit. Go back. I just want to point something out to you. You see where it says almond milk commercial, right? Now, you got to be very smart. You are paying £2 for a carton of almond milk. It's a lie, because the actual amount of almond in that litre is about 3%. 3%. And they have the cheek to call it almond milk, right? The only best way to almond is you get 20 almonds, 30 almonds, you add some goat's milk to it, and you blend it. Now you got the real almond milk. Don't buy something at £2, where you're getting 97% water. You know, what's the point, right? What you can do if you want to be really healthy, get about 20 almonds, right? 500 milliliters of goat's milk and 500 milliliters of coconut water. And then you blend that. That is superbly high in protein. Goat's milk, the almonds, and the coconut water. Very easily digested. And you can finish it off with eating 2 or 3 organic apples.
Okay,
Right.
so I do see some raised hands, so we'll do some questions answers very shortly.
Yeah.
So just to end, this is the question: are you happy where you are? If you are, then carry on doing what you're doing. If it's no, then do you want to be happy? That's the thing. If you do, then you need to change something. And if you don't, then that's fine. You stay and carry on doing what you're doing. And as the Chinese proverb says, when is the best time to plant a tree or change your life? It could be 20 years ago, but the best time is now. So make a start now. We will guide you along the way. Now, what we have is we are welcome to actually book in for a short Zoom call with us to, any questions that you have, you're welcome to answer it. And that's the link there. You can take a screenshot as well. We're on Planet Wellness on Facebook. And we also have our own YouTube channel. We share new videos, new tips at least 3 times a week. So do subscribe to our channel, follow it. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, there's always a new video coming out. Currently, we're concentrating on the theme psoriasis, the skin disease, and diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
However, the tips that we share on these videos, they are applicable to overall wellness as well, so you can follow that.
Yeah.
And every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. on our Facebook page, Planet Wellness, we do have also a Facebook Live, just about 10-15 minutes, where we share a wellness tip as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mornings at about 7 a.m. on Wednesdays, UK time as well, we're on Liberty Radio. You're welcome to tune in as well, because we share a wellness tip there.
Yeah, one more thing. Well, we I think it was about August last year. August, we started the Planet Wellness YouTube profile, and we must have captured a lot of thinking people, because as of today we have got 10,417 views. 10,417 views, on YouTube, and we've actually got 214 dedicated subscribers. So, and that people are just astonished how quickly we achieved that. From August last year till now, it was about 6 months, 7 months, right? So, and we do it because it's genuine. We're not out here to create a lot of money. We just do it because we're helping people. Wow.
Okay.
Quite a bit. So anybody wants to.
If anyone has any questions, I see, was it Anne who raised your hand? Let me just see whether we can unmute you. Anne, would you like to unmute yourself? You still have any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Anne.
I was trying to see myself if I wasn't sure what to press. Sorry.
That's okay.
How are you guys? You look good.
Thank you.
Really
Just
good.
reading the chat while you talk, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just saying about the coconut water you were talking about. Last few weeks, I have actually. Shall I tell you or not?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, please do. Yeah.
I bought a whole box of 12 coconuts, green ones, and I peeled them myself, and it's brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a question from Galaxy A70. He says, as you age, do you have to, intake more probiotics for your stomach?
That's a very good question. Very good question. Usually, if you've been brought up properly by caring parents or grandparents, up till about, if you've been brought, they will advise you how to eat probiotic meals at least once a day, right? So then as you get older, you're eating similar. You can get quite old, up to 80, 90, and you'll still be okay because the way you're eating, you've been building up your body with probiotics the whole time. However, if you've been brought up on junk food on a fairly regular basis, and that's all you know, there's a very strong chance that your gut will be very low in probiotics. So you'll be prone to flu, hay fever, asthma, strokes, mental problems, anxiety, all of that, right? So I definitely, if you've never had a really good dose of probiotics at your age, well, I would, or whatever age that may be, I would definitely recommend at least a month of probiotics per day, two sachets per day, and that will give you 24 billion probiotics in the body. So over a month, it's 720 billion. That's going to give you incredible health. Now, so what you can do 1 month on, 1 month off, then come back on again. You also can eat things like yogurt, but preferably goat's milk yogurt, and that'll be good for you. But definitely, if you've never been trained in understanding probiotics, start now. We can definitely help you. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a question?
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I have a friend who's just turned 80.
Right.
And she's really in a mess health-wise. She's alive, yes, but she has no life really.
Yeah.
Diabetes, insulin into her, wherever she injects it every day,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
On many tablets. I saw her the other day and her knee was swollen up and it was very, very painful.
Yeah.
What can I tell her?
What?
Those people that you tell them good things, they hear it, but they still carry on doing what they want to do.
Well, look, there's a scripture in the Bible, right? And it's very telling. It says, give the good message to the village. Right? You get that? Give the good message to the village. If they don't listen, shake the dust off your sandals and walk away. Right? Now, what we do, we give as much great advice as we can. Some people, they'll give you the yes, but. Like, for example, they'll say, my grandmother smoked till she was 80 and she lived till 90. Hey, let me tell you something. Your grandmother ate organic food from her own garden and she was having cigarettes. That's how she made it. You try smoking cigarettes today with that food that we're getting today, by the time you're 45, 46, you are going to get tumors. You're going to get some sort of cancer because your fitness will not be there. Probiotics is exactly what you need to build the immune system. I can't stress that enough.
Can I recommend her the probiotics to start off with?
Yes, definitely.
If she's 80, right, I would put what I would do, I would put on 3 sachets. Now she's going to get 36 billion. You give her 3 sachets during the day for 1 week.
Every day.
3 sachets. So that will be like 21 sachets at the end of each week. And the second week you put on 2 sachets, and the third week on 1 sachet for the rest of her life. And she will, and all the symptoms you're describing, like, for example, water retention, sore knees, or all of those are as a result of the sugar being too high in the body. And there's a very strong chance that they eat a lot of cakes, or a lot of sponge cakes, and not enough liquids, not enough of the right coconut water. They don't eat that. They're stuck to the old tea, coffee, juicy, fizzy drinks, Coca-Cola. And they think, well, I'm 80, and they'll give you things like, I'm 80 years old, so when can I enjoy myself? Yeah. Well, that someone is not going to listen.
I think, I would suggest to her, if you want to live and you want to live a happier and healthier life, then you better spend some money and get it right.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Because she's taking a lot of tablets for different things.
Yeah.
And I think it's all the side effects of the tablets as well that's really getting her. So
I'm going to comment on that, because this is going to be so powerful. I'm going to tell you. I remember about 25 years ago, I was treating a couple, and they were respecting what I was saying. They were getting results, right? And then one of them said, "Listen, my dad just died, would you like to come to the house? I want to show you his bathroom. I said, sure. So I was taken to the house, and we opened the cabinets. There were cabinets in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and there was 38 vials of medicine. And I looked at each one of them. There was 4 doctors. 4 doctors were prescribing to him. They were all giving him different things, right? 5 or 6 each. And he was so confused. He was taking the whole lot every day.
Mhm.
And his liver failed. It was because the doctors had not done the due diligence in ensuring they were giving a minimal amount of chemicals. They were giving him between 6 to 8 chemical tablets on a daily basis, all 4 of them, right? And that's why he died such a horrible death, because he died with massive edema, strokes, and diabetes. Right? When doctors, I don't know why they do it, why they don't have it's not all of them, but a lot of them, they are so busy, they just prescribe. That's the answer to everything. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more interesting question
Yes,
from
which is?
Galaxy A70 as well. This is interesting. She asks, would you recommend colonic irrigation?
But where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The Galaxy?
Galaxy.
Ah, you're not showing yourself. Are you from Samsung? No. Anyway, I'll give you the answer. I do not recommend colonic irrigation at all. At all. Let me tell you why. You see, when you're toxic, you're not just toxic in the colon. You're toxic in the small intestines, in the duodenum, in the kidneys, in the liver, in the pancreas, and in the brain. You are, right? So when you do colonic irrigation, I've seen it done. You lie on the side, right? And the nurse, whoever's administering, will put about 4 or 5 liters of water with lemon juice, coffee beans, or whatever, and put that to your bum, to your anus, and it will pump the water, and it will go up the descending column, transverse column, and into the ascending column. So in other words, they'll put so much water and juice in there, and then after about a few hours, that will come out. And that will come out with some rubbish, but I can guarantee you it will not come out with all the colonic waste you've got inside there, right? Not only that, it will not, a colonic irrigation doesn't clean your small intestines. It doesn't clean your stomach. It doesn't clean your brain. It doesn't clean your sinuses. It doesn't clean your liver. It doesn't do any of that. The only way it works, you have to clean the body with fiber and with magnicality and the right foods from eating properly. That way, the fiber content is cleaning your mouth, your esophagus, the stomach, the duodenum, the small intestine, the large intestine. I would never, ever recommend colonic irrigation.
If you think about how we were created, we were created to intake food from the mouth, not the other way around. It goes down from the top to the bottom, not coming out the other way. So that is a totally unnatural process, and it's painful and uncomfortable as well. Why would you want to put yourself through that? And dangerous.
When you're eating too much meat, for example, and you're not balancing that meat, the red meat you eat starts to become like a glue, and becomes like a glue, and it sticks to the sides of the colon. It sticks there like concrete, right? So you have to put a very specific type of fiber and juice and water and so on for it to be rubbed off. Yeah? When you take the right type of fiber, it's like a scrub, and it gently scrubs the walls of the intestines, the walls of the colon, and that's when your toxin might be 25 years old, might be 30 years old. It might be meat that's been there for 35 years old. I've seen it. 35 years old meat sitting in the colon. The colonic irrigation will never get rid of that. Even if you do it 4 or 5 times, it won't do it. You have to do it to the mouth, not the colonic irrigation. You have to eat properly, eat the right fiber to the mouth, and then that will do the job. And you've got to be at it until you feel fantastic.
What we're recommending is similar to yourself using like a descaler for your cattle.
Yes.
You can't get rid of the scale any other way.
Mm.
That's really the best way,
Yeah.
most effective way to actually get rid of the waste.
Yeah.
And that's why we recommend it.
Mm. Mm.
So I think we've sort of like run out of questions. Oh, right, one more question. What would you recommend for men for their prostate?
Oh, for prostate.
Yeah.
Can I ask what age? Can you tell me what age?
Can you type in, or you can
type it in?
unmute yourself if you want to.
Yeah, you
It
can,
makes
yeah.
quicker. Yeah, I've allowed you to unmute yourself. You can unmute.
Yeah,
if it's quicker,
54. That's why I asked for the age. Now, prostate, as you know, belongs to the men, right? Okay. Now, what happens has been proven scientifically that once a man gets to about 45, there's a very strong chance, if he hasn't taken care of himself, that he will develop an enlarged prostate. About 45, that's when it starts to happen. And so an enlarged prostate starts to get 45. And what it does, if it gets bad enough, the prostate will become so enlarged, it will squeeze the walls of the testicles, right? And he won't be able to urinate, right? And this sounds gross, but what doctors will do, they'll put like a needle to the wall, to the entry to the penis, and push that all the way to the blood and drain the water out that way. That is a very, very painful procedure. Now, if there's a prostate issue, there's a very, very good product called saw palmetto, right? Saw, SAW, palmetto. It's named that way because this particular palm has got leaves looks like a saw, like an electrical saw, right? Not electrical, sorry, a handsaw. Now, this saw palmetto is really powerful. Now, I recommend everybody who's a man who's past 40 to take at least one saw palmetto capsule per day until they drop, right? That keeps your prostate clean. It keeps it working well and staying in the same condition, and it keeps your prostate not enlarged. If you've already got an enlarged prostate, what you do is you take 3 capsules a day for 1 month. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So a little capsule about that big, right? It's called saw palmetto, and the brand is called Palmetto Plus. And you take, if it's enlarged already, you've got to take 3 per day for 1 month, and then you can then work from there. You can then back to 2, but eventually you'll need to be on 1 a day for the rest of your life. It does work. The other thing that's very good for the prostate, would you believe it, is stinging nettle. Stinging nettle. If you cook the stinging nettle and you mix it with ghost cheese, and you can also drink coconut water, that will help your prostate as well. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah, can I ask one more,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
please? Recently, I've had a check with my doctor,
Mm-hmm.
because I did catch COVID-19,
Oh,
but I looked after myself at home. I did not go to the doctors or the hospital.
Yep.
I'm well now. I'm negative.
mm-hmm. Good.
But my blood cholesterol, I don't know which one, but both maybe is a little bit high.
Right.
And he put me on, is it statin?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have cholesterol. It's a couple of tablets he put me on.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest with you, I got it, but I haven't started it, and I don't want to either.
Okay. Let me give you a very clear details.
Can I just finish? But since then, I've started to eat more. I mean, I basically do eat healthy, but starting to eat more healthy,
Mm-hmm.
more water, and doing some more exercise, and that's about it so far.
Okay. Well, let's be very clear here. You have what I call HDL, H for Harry, HDL cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol. Right. Now, LDL cholesterol is what I call a dense cholesterol. And that is the fat cholesterol, the fatty. That's where you store that is in a visceral fat. In other words, that's where your belly is. That's where the LDL cholesterol tends to bulk up in there, where the arteries are meeting in the belly button. Now, HDL cholesterol is a good cholesterol. Now, for example, if you're eating pork fat, chicken fat, turkey fat, red meat, that's going to give you a lot of LDL cholesterol, okay? And that's the one that's going to give you a tendency to get strokes, poor circulation, anxiety in the brain, because your brain's not getting enough of the oxygen from the blood. It's too much cholesterol. Now, what I would recommend you do is, for a while, don't eat any red meat, right? Don't eat any inorganic chicken, or you could eat probably a bit of turkey and fish, like sardines. Sardines, 1 can of sardines a day in olive oil is very good for balancing the cholesterol. Now, the actual ratio you should be on is 1 part LDL and 3 to 4 parts HDL. So go back to your doctor, ask him to give you the split between how much LDL you've got and how much HDL, and then we'll give you the right advice, okay? So depending on the amount of HDL or LDL, we can then recommend what food you should be on, what tablet you should be on, and so on, so that you can balance the cholesterol back to normal. You can do it. You know, if the way you eat and the supplements you take have a big part to play in keeping balance of the cholesterol. Right?
Yeah.
Don't get scared about cholesterol. The good cholesterol is needed for the brain. It's needed by your liver. But if you have too much of the LDL cholesterol, that's the one with the visceral fat in the belly, and that's the one you got to watch. Right?
I've been eating 1 grapefruit and a couple of oranges every day. I don't know if that's good, isn't it?
Well, look, the grapefruit and the oranges are very good for the immune system, but it's not going to do much as far as your cholesterol goes. You need to eat very specific vegetables, and one of them that you're going to find quite extraordinary that reduces cholesterol is Carella or bitter gourd or bitter melon. If you eat about 3 good-sized Carella every day, that's going to detoxify your liver, and your liver will play a big part in reducing your LDL cholesterol.
So you're not asking me to eat the Carella raw, surely?
Yes. If you can't take it raw, steam it, but don't boil it and don't microwave it, all right?
No, I don't use microwave, but I do like to cook it.
Yeah, but the best way to cook the Carella, the best way, boil your water in a steamer, boil your water first, and then when the water's actually boiling and steaming, you put the Carella in for about 3 to 5 minutes till it's just soft, it's still green, and that's when you eat it. Do not put the Carella in boiling water. You put it on the top of the steamer. And because if you do that, you reduce the bitterness in the Carella or the bitter gourd, and that does not work on your liver. Okay?
Oh, I could make it into a juice and drink it.
No.
Okay.
All the time. Because I'll tell you what you got to understand. If you look at your tongue, right? If you look at your tongue, the front of your tongue is where you taste sweet, then you taste salt, and then you taste sour. That's the very tip of your tongue. Now, so sweet, salt, sour. At the very back of your tongue, you got like a boomerang. It looks like a little octopus, right? And that is a trigger when your bitterness is tasted there at the back of your tongue. At that point, that triggers your liver, it triggers your gallbladder, and it triggers your pancreas. And that's when you reduce your cholesterol. If you juice it and you swallow it fast, you don't give your tongue a chance to understand the accent of the bitterness. Got it? Make sense? All right. Now, there was somebody asked you about.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Answered all that.
So, what do you think of the answers? Good?
Yeah, I like
The
it.
tomatoes.
Oh, yes, tomatoes. Now, that's true. Tomatoes are good for cholesterol.
Maverick.
Yeah, but there's something strange about tomatoes. If you eat the tomatoes raw, you can certainly get the fiber aspect of it, but you can't digest tomato as much as when you cook the tomato. Okay, that's why you see the Italians eat a lot of pasta with cooked tomato. It's always cooked, right? So now, when you cook the tomato, don't kill it. Your best thing is to put a bit of hot water with it, a bit of olive oil, and then cook it until it becomes soft, right? And the skin comes off. When the skin comes off a tomato, it's cooked. And when you eat a tomato that's cooked at that level, no microwave, right? You cook at a level, then you eat about 4 to 5 tomatoes a day. That will help not only your prostate, but it will help your eyes because of the red color, the antocyanin. That will help your eyes. It will help the macula at the back of the eyes. It will also help your skin, right? The more red you eat, the healthier you become. And I'm not talking about red jellies here. I'm talking about or red lollies. I'm talking about red in terms of fruit or vegetables. Okay.
Can you grill? You can grill the tomatoes as well, sure.
You can what? Right?
Grill.
Yes, you can. But again, don't grill it too deep, because if you eat too deep, you've got to apply too much heat. You
Not on high heat.
Not on high heat. It's got to be very low
Just
heat.
when it's a little bit soft. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The key is to wash the skin.
Yeah.
When you wash the tomato, you wash the skin starts to peel. Let it peel a bit more that you can easily peel with a knife. At that point in time, you stop and you move it to your plate. And I'll tell you what makes it even better. When you've got your tomatoes on your plate cooked this way, you add a bit of apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon or so of sel de Guérande, right? We'll type that in for you, and some extra virgin olive oil. That is a brilliant combination to digest the tomato and get the tomato work into your liver to feed into your eyes and your brain and everything else.
What was the word in the middle? Olive oil?
Olive, people always get that one. It's so extra. So I use Greek or Spanish extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar. I use Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and make sure you shake the bottle. Yeah. And then, last but not least, it's a salt that comes from a country
salt.
Salt. It's salt.
Ah, okay. I didn't quite understand what you said.
We're not talking about table salt like Saxa.
No. I use sea salt anyway.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but don't use sea salt. Use sel de Guérande. SELDEGUERANDE.
I put it in the chat.
That is a brilliant salt. It's been around for 300 years, and you can get it quite easy to Amazon and places like that. And you can buy a liter of it, and it will last you a long time. I'd recommend every person take at least 1 teaspoon of the sel de Guérande per day.
I actually buy sel de marine.
Yeah, but I know the one, but I wouldn't recommend that one, because I don't think it's got the same level of iodine and minerals as sel de Guérande. The sel de Guérande comes from the North Sea, the cleanest part of the sea. That's where it comes from. And the people there are French. They're called the paludiers. They've been doing that skill of bringing the seawater in, putting in large pads, letting it dry, no processing, no dioxides, no chemicals. It's just pure salt.
It's sort of grayish looking, isn't it?
It is grayish, exactly. And it's coarse, very coarse. Now, okay, so what's that? It's the same.
Celtic salt.
Yes, Celtic salt is very, Celtic salt is very, very similar. You could say that Celtic salt and sel de Guérande are very similar. And you notice the word Celtic, right? It's not a word. Now, a lot of people, I've noticed at a supermarket, they buy Saxa salt. That is sodium chloride, and that is deadly. 1 teaspoon of that Saxa salt will retain 87 teaspoons of water in your legs. Get that? Yeah. Interesting.
I think that is the problem with most people who has diabetes, you know?
It is, exactly. Get off. Don't use, if it says table salt, if it is Saxa, get rid of it. You can put it on your plants, but don't give it to yourself. Make sense? In fact, when I want my plants to be really healthy, I give them a teaspoon of that sel de Guérande myself, especially when I'm starting plants off. Right? It's that good for you.
What about rock salt, black salt?
Depending where it comes from. You know, I'm a bit cautious with something that's like that, because you don't know where the quarry is, and you don't know whether it's got chemicals built in the quarry. Sometimes you've got oil spills, and that's why it's gone black. So I'm a bit cautious about anything that got. But the sel de Guérande is more like a grey color, and because it is guaranteed to be sel de Guérande, I know that's a good source. I know I'm not going to get chemicals. That's why I buy it. All right?
Okay.
So I think we've come up to nearly 1.5 hours when we meant to be an hour.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll end here. If you still have any other questions, you know where to find us. If you want to leave your email address with the person who's invited you, mainly I think was Septima, just let, if you know I don't have your email address, if you want to keep in touch with us, do let us have your email address so that we can keep you on our mailing list as well, and we can keep you updated as to when our next talk will be. It'll probably be in 2 weeks' time. Okay. And also, yeah.
My husband will want to jump on this time because he should have jumped on. It's all him. It's all him. So I'll definitely next week, next time.
You know what we found in our practice? The women come first, and then they grab the husband by the ears and say, "You're coming."
Oh yeah.
And then the husband the husband, if he knows any better, he comes. Very rarely do I see men come first.
Well, we've got Darren Lee.
Darren Lee's different. Darren is very tuned in.
Yeah.
He's very tuned in. So
Actually, most men, they don't really, I don't know what it is about men. They don't want to go to the doctors to have their health checked out.
Yeah.
What is it about? Until it gets too late.
I think what it is, most women are very instinctive. If something's wrong with them, they tend to sense it. They tend to feel it, right? Whereas men, even if they get sore or whatever, they'll wait till the last minute until they get really worried. That's when and even they won't tell their wives. They'll just go seek to the doctor and ask questions then. At that point,
Don't. What's happening?
No, I'm very wise. I always, if I find anything that's quite right, I check into it, assess it, get it checked out, always, right? Because otherwise, if you don't, you could end up with blown out cancer. While we're on that, cancer takes 14 years to manifest. You know that? 14 years to manifest. Diabetes, 14 years. So if you're letting symptoms go by until you get to the 14th year, you can then erupt in full-blown cancer or tumors, right? If you find anything unusual, like a lump, get it checked out. Get it checked. It's worth it. But then if you need to be treated, come to us and we'll show you how to be treated. Darren Lee knows all about that, doesn't he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's smiling. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, it's been an absolute delight for both of us to be able to guide you. We're so amazed by the amount of people who came on board. It's fantastic. So when are we doing the next one?
Probably in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll keep you in touch. And obviously, if you got any topics you want us to cover as well, by all means, message us and we'll get that sorted. All right.
Yeah. And ladies, bring your husband.
And I've got my whole family, my sisters are coming. So yes.
That's good.
That's good. Anyway, I'm off to have my healthy dinner with my dandelion leaves.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Enjoy.
Tina. Thank you, Ronald.
Bye.
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 Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.